Hello everyone, my name is Luke Dalton. I'm a member of the Portishead Chamber of Commerce. For those who don't know, we're a local voluntary run networking group, and the main aim of these interviews is really to kind of help get our members coverage out there for not only the other members of the Chamber, but people locally in the community as well. So I've got Rachel from Smart Office Support here. So Rachel, I guess obviously the first question I'm asking everyone is how would you summarize what you do to someone that knows nothing about your business?
Summarize. Oh, how long have we got actually?
As long as you want.
So I'm what's classed as a virtual assistant. So I work from home providing support to businesses. For me, it's a small business or solo entrepreneurs that I tend to support. And it's where somebody wants that extra pair of hands, but they're not quite ready to take on anybody in a permanent capacity. So it's just somebody that they can flex out to and say, can you come and help and give me a few hours a week? Or I just need some help on an event.
Yes, because you know, being a business owner, I know exactly what it's like where you've got a situation where you're going to have more work than you can cope with, but it's not necessarily going to be consistent. So employing a permanent member of staff isn't really an option. So no. Is that what you would say the main scenario is that you find yourself being called about asking for help?
Yeah, so it's exactly that. It's where someone is just, so for example, I'm doing some work for a mortgage advisor at the moment. And one of the things he found is that although he can keep on top of the sort of clients that he's got and he's doing their mortgages for them, the inquiries that are coming in, they were almost falling out for him. So he was not having the time to get back to some new inquiries. So he was so busy doing the of the clients he's got. Yeah. So what he's done is he's asked me to come along in and can I help him with his inquiry follow-ups, get them booked in, make sure we're securing them if you see, and then I can do all the chase-ups afterwards. So he does all the regulatory compliance work and I just do everything around that just to keep him going. And I do a few hours a week to help him.
Yeah, fair. So how would your week sort of pan out then? Do you have like a portfolio of people that you will do a variety of different sort of, is it purely administrative, for example, or is it sort of inquiries? How do you break it?
So, yeah, there's a variety of things. So at the moment, I've got a few where I'm actually doing the inquiries. So I'm actually following up with an architect. All their quotes that they've sent out, they want to change their process, and they've got an automated process within their systems, and it fires off out, reminders. But what they wanted was some of the personal touch. So I'm following up after a few days of sending the quote out. Everything okay? Can I help you with anything? And then following up a few weeks later, and just before the quote expires, because with architect, and this is a lot of building work, it's not always going to be in 4 weeks' time. Sometimes it could be 5, 6 weeks, or even a few months. So it's following up and just saying, right, are you at a place? Do we need to extend the quote? Is there anything we can help you with? And then where on another one, he just wanted one piece of project work. So he's actually wanted some help with his LinkedIn profile. He's been wanting to, it's got to the stage when you go in and you can see there's no reply to messages. He's not acknowledged any notifications. Nothing's happened. And it still says things previously, and it's got some old branding. So it's a one-off piece of work for me just to do that, but that's just something he just haven't been able to get around to do. So sometimes,
go on, sorry.
Yeah, so sometimes it's helping people just to get that off of their to-do list. Yeah. I want to mail out to all my new clients. I just haven't got the time, so I'll come in and do that. Yeah. Or it could just be picking up things on a daily basis, or I mean, I never do a whole day with somebody. It's usually I'll spend an hour doing the mortgage broker, then I might do something with the insurance person I'm doing with, and then I'll make some phone calls for the architect. So, and I time everything. So everything's timed. I start and stop the clock. I use a system called Toggle. So I toggle on and I toggle off. So I quite enjoy that actually.
Yes, yeah.
You come into my mind, I must toggle off. Must remember to toggle off. So yes. So they only pay when I'm doing their work.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, to me, it sounds like you wouldn't necessarily even know what you're going to be doing for a client from day to day. So you could be doing admin 1 minute, and next minute you're answering phone calls or even following up from architects, as you say, and whatnot. So
yes.
You mentioned projects as well, because what I found with projects is that there is a sort of best practices and processes that are in place with a lot of projects in a lot of different industries. And I guess my question to you would be, how do you go about getting involved with projects? What, have you found that there's any turbulence with kind of getting involved with other people's systems, or I guess the best practices for that industry?
Yes, so I'm actually project management trained. I hold a Prince 2 certification. So I've gone through the full project management certification process. But normally I'm coming in as the support officer. So what you would class as a PMO, or project management office, or officer. So I normally would come in there. So just making sure things happen. And it's, it's all admin again, isn't it, really? So it's, you're the project manager. Luke, what is it you need from your other project managers, or from your contacts that you're needing to do? What do you need? What reports do you need? So we would agree how much time you wanted with me. I can manage the budget, or I can just manage, if you are a program manager rather than a project manager, make sure your project managers are reporting into you to where they are, what they're doing. It just depends on what they actually need on that. But you're right, there is processes, and it's different. So my main experience is in IT, but that's not to say you can't, and I've done some sort of small business process project changes as well. So it just depends, but you've got to sit down and agree all that to begin with, so you know what all your milestones are and what the objectives are in order to achieve what they want.
Yeah, so really, I guess it must be that when people come to you with a problem, it's normally like you do a bit of a fact find, and actually you see lots of potential things that you'd be able to help that would allow them to have the time to do the stuff that they're good at, which I find is something that people don't do enough of, which everyone has to juggle lots of plates at the moment, and we all juggle them badly, when actually if we concentrated on a couple and outsourced a couple of the other things that are essential to a business to someone who does that day in and day out, then actually you get better results, and everyone's a winner, really. So
no, absolutely.
Would you say there's a bit of a, not like a stigma, but a bit of an assumption that's probably formed from people in my position who might assume that you wouldn't know really how to do that? When I think of a VA, I think of someone maybe answering the phone, sort of data entry, that kind of stuff. And I don't know where that psychology's come from. Is that me, or do you find that that's the case anyway?
I think there can be a stigma to it. Most people, it has been just outsource those really low level things. But I think what you need to think about is the virtual assistant can come in all different shapes. So you may take somebody who's virtually supporting you with your social media. Now, I can do that. It's not necessarily the one thing I've done throughout all my career, but we can do it. But you may then bring somebody in, what we class is, instead of a marketing, you may bring a social media person in, and that could be a virtual assistant. The nature of what you're doing, where some people would prefer the more executive or personal assistant, where they literally, once upon a time, and perhaps even just before lockdown, lots of things have changed. So you're managing director, or you're running your own business, because you're a managing director, even if it's just you in the business, because it's your business. You would potentially have come out, spoke to your secretary, who sits outside your door, asking them, can you do this? Can you do that? I need this, I need that, I want that. And we can do all that remotely as well. It doesn't have to be sat. I mean, the only thing obviously I can't do is come and make you a cup of coffee, so or tea. Don't do that anymore.
Fair enough. Well, I guess that makes sense. Virtual tea is not the same, is it?
Not quite the same.
No.
Not quite the same. No.
Cool. So, how long have you been doing this then? You said that you had a background in PMO and things like that. How long have you actually been doing this virtual office?
So virtual, I've been self-employed since the April 2017. So I've been doing contract work and virtual work since then. But I have been in sort of this area forever. Forever, for a very long time. I've worked for public and private companies, large companies, small companies. I've been an audio typist right through up to an executive assistant for an MD from a large company. So there's probably not many jobs out there that I've not actually done. My last role before I went self-employed, though, was the PMO role. And I took redundancy with that. And at that time, I decided that I actually wanted to take a step back and go back to my roots of sort of secretarial and administrative support, which is where I am now. But I've got those skills to help.
Yeah. How did you find sort of making that transition over to basically running your own business in Portishead? Obviously, how have you found reaching out to people locally, I guess, so far?
So when I initially started this, a lot of my work was word of mouth. So I actually almost would say stumbled from one to another to another. And I keep my LinkedIn profile up, and somebody reached out to me on there to go and do some maternity cover for them. It's only since going completely virtual that I've actually started doing more networking, and that networking local, and I've tried to keep it locally and and you reach out a bit into Bristol as well, which I find that's proven really, really good for me in that sense.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I know that because I keep bumping into you at different networking groups and things like that. So I know you're doing it.
Yes.
That's fair enough. So you said, were you in Portishead all your life then? Did you say?
No. We moved here in 2011. I have to say, it wasn't somewhere I wanted to come.
Really?
My husband was so up for this. Well, we used to work up in Aztec West.
Yeah.
M5 on a Friday, coming down, this thing, there's just absolute nightmare to me. Was like, oh gosh, I'm going to go in Thursday, Fridays at the weekends, with the summer weekends and summer holidays, was going to be a nightmare. But I was very lucky. The company I worked for was happy for me to work from home. So actually, in the end, it worked out perfect. And I wouldn't live anywhere else now. Love it.
Really? Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Whenever you move, it's a bit of a lottery, and you can get a feel for the place and all the rest of it. But ultimately, you're taking a.
There's so many lovely people around, business people that you meet, as well as everybody else. And I got some fabulous neighbours, so it's lovely here. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I guess the last thing then would be sort of, for Portishead businesses and things like that. Have you noticed any challenges at the moment that you feel it's worth us talking about? Because one of the things that the Chamber is trying to do is generate a bit of noise about not just integrating people on our books, but also just the whole area. The whole area has an economy that we all benefit from one way or another. So if there's anything that you notice that we're not already discussing, I guess, then now.
Well, exactly. I suppose the most obvious thing is the coming out of lockdown and how it's the moving around and meeting up with people. Yeah. Before lockdown, I had a lot of regular meetings when I was meeting up with people locally. So we go to one of the cafes or go to one of the pubs, and you sit down, have a coffee. If it's early evening, maybe have a little chat or a one-to-one over a glass of something. But it doesn't feel quite so easy now. So I think that interaction between people is a little bit harder. Zoom is great, and it's something I do. I'm virtual. I'm used to this. So it's an everyday thing for me. But for a lot of people, it's not. And you don't get that passing, hi, it's great to see you. Say, oh, lovely, thanks. It's great to bump into you. You might be talking to one person and you see someone else. And I think getting that rhythm back and helping people to perhaps do that.
Yeah. How would you say the pandemic's affected everything from your perspective, business-wise? Has it been turbulent? Has it caused, or has it opened doors, would you say?
It's been very turbulent. I've lost contracts at the very beginning because people went into lockdown and they basically didn't need that extra pair of hands, which is what I am, which they flex out for. But there's been two veins of virtual assistants throughout this. Some who had some very strong clients haven't stopped. And then there have been others who have actually decided to start during this lockdown because they're actually seeing how easy perhaps it could be. So they're slowly gaining that. But for me, it's been kind of up and down through. There's been other things that have been going on as well that has given me time to concentrate on my business. So that's been quite good to just be able to, am I doing the right things? Am I offering the right things? So I've done a lot more networking. So, and things are now picking up.
Yeah.
But, I would say to anybody that if they just wanted some help to understand, then, I'm more than happy to have a chat. If they're trying to work from home and they're trying to get themselves into sort of trying to get yourself into that. When you're going into work, you go at this time and you do this and that. And then sometimes working at home, it just all goes to put.
Yeah.
So if anybody just wants to have a little chat through about how to organise their days, then I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure for a lot of people that'd be a great help. And I know when from some sort of working from home, it does all mold into one, and you get interrupted by that sort of niggling ticket in your head. Oh, I need to do the washing and things like that because you're at home, and actually it's completely irrelevant, and it ruins the flow of your day. But
Yeah.
if you've got something planned, then
Yes, yeah,
much
you
easier.
do need to get your day planned, but you also do need to have time for yourself. It's so easy when you're working at home to start early, go right through the day and work late.
Yeah,
You absolutely have to have your beginning and end, and some little routines that take you in and out of the day as well, that you would if you were traveling to work. So it's
yeah.
really important to do that.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Rachel, that I think that's been brilliant, to be honest with you. Thank you for spending the time with me today and telling us a bit about more about you and your business. And obviously, we'll be keeping this up as long as there are new members. If anyone
Absolutely.
is looking to join, this is just one of the things that we do for the members here. To be honest with you, there's the Portishead Chamber is here for the local businesses, and this is only one sort of service that we do to get the names out there. And I can already see that we're getting results from these interviews for some of the members, and it's £45. So for the sake of getting your name out there locally, might be worth a shot. So,
Absolutely.
but Rachel, brilliant, awesome, great to meet you again, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Luke.
Cheers.